I actually made a video, my first video, on the front-facing camera on my iPad 2nd generation. That's like 10 years older or whatever. And well, I did it for one reason. I was looking for an iPad, not this iPad. This is my current iPad. I was looking for my first iPad because my first iPad is what I actually used to make my very first video. My very first video ever, I used the front-facing camera on an iPad, and it looks terrible, but it was my most important and most valuable video that I've ever made. For one reason. Now, it's no secret if you've watched this channel at all that I'm a huge fan of using just pretty much any camera at my disposal, whether that be something like a 360 or an action camera, or a very expensive Sony a7S III with a $3,000 lens on it, or even just using my iPhone. I love using different cameras. I think it helps tell stories. I think it helps push the narratives that you want to push and emphasize things that you want to maybe emphasize. And I'm not above using an iPad, even a terrible front-facing, I think it was like a 2nd-gen iPad. If that's what it takes, or if that's all I have at my disposal, I think it's better to make something and not make excuses. With that being said, this video is not really about an iPad. The iPad was just an example and a segue leading to a broader theme that I think is more important than just like a piece of tech. There's a term in sports, primarily football, probably in other sports too. It's called reviewing game tape, and basically the premise of that is you can review what your opponents do, or more importantly what you do to help your team like get better. It's a lot easier to show what you're doing when you can see what you're actually doing after the fact. I believe that doesn't just apply for sports. That could be applied for anything that you're trying to do to get better at. If I'm being completely honest, that was one of the main reasons I started doing this vlog. I wanted to get better at making videos, and I wanted to get better at learning how to use my camera. And what better way to do that than just to shoot and record yourself every single day? That way you can really figure out what works on how to like talk to a camera, how to like be entertaining, how to keep the pace going, and even how to deliver lines in an authentic like way that's true to yourself and not just like emulating somebody else or copying somebody else. And me doing that for this vlog wasn't the first time that I've ever like reviewed game tape or filmed myself to get better. The first time was that first video that I mentioned with the front-facing camera of the iPad. I literally gaff taped it to I was playing drums. I literally gaff taped it to a music stand, and it was just facing my left leg, and most of the shot, actually, the framing was terrible. Most of the shot was actually just of my left leg. I don't even think I had it like horizontal. I think I had it vertical. So I had to like crop it in even more with a terrible, horrible image. But I will say like that projected me into, and like kind of launched me into actually filming myself when I was playing, and from that point on I noticed a huge streak upward in like my ability and me just getting better. I got better a lot faster when I started seeing what I was doing wrong and what I was doing right. There's really two things that lead you to doing something like recording yourself, and the first one is going to be like you want to get better, like you want to improve, and you're not really sure what you actually need to work on or improve on. And the second thing is going to be it's going to be led on by the first thing, and that is you need to know what sucks, and the easiest way to do that is to see firsthand. And video is the most, in my experience, video is the most honest and least forgiving of all the ways to find out that you're doing something wrong. Also, that first shot that you saw, the camera was dangling over the side of this railing right there. the amount of anxiety that I had doing that was probably one of the most sketchy shots that I've got. I mean, it was fine. It was just I felt my heart rate go way up. Okay, we've been having packages show up, but they're actually not at where they're not where they're supposed to be. So I keep going down to the mailroom, and there's nothing there. That's why I was on the stairs. Savannah has a photo shoot tonight, and the location's a place that we've actually never taken pictures. I didn't know you could actually take pictures there, and I'm pretty excited about I'm just going just because it seems like a fun thing to do, and yeah, we will only have like an hour because the place does close at 6, but I am excited for it. So for me, my solution to like wanting to get better and really understand what was going on with like what I was doing right, what I was doing wrong, was to film myself. And that's the same thing that I did with doing video stuff. Like I filmed myself and I learned what I was doing right, what I was doing wrong, and what could actually possibly be better. For me, learning by example has always been the best and most efficient way for me to learn things and to pick things up. And what better way to learn by example is than use you as like the example. That's really why I started recording myself, and honestly, that's why I continue to do it today. Even stuff that has nothing to do with like my career, like video stuff or drum stuff, I'll still record myself just to see if I'm like doing something right. Like running, I'll record myself running sometimes, to see if like my stride is correct, because the alternative is to have somebody else do it. But when you have a video camera that's in your pocket, like literally all the time, it's kind of silly to at least not try this. I actually don't know where Savannah is. This library is like 4 stories, and I don't even know what story I'm on. I think I'm on the third story, maybe. Based on the courtyard down there, I think I'm on the 2nd floor, and that's like assuming that the courtyard is on the 1st floor, which I don't think that is. I'm just gonna sit here and let Savannah find me, because this is like the center of the library, and I'm just gonna pray that she hasn't gone to another floor. This was the floor I last saw her on. She also mentioned she was going outside, and she also has the keys, so if she leaves, then I'm pretty much